The trigger is fully adjustable, and the trigger is probably one of my favorite bits. I've got it set right down at about 1.5 pounds. It is obscenely light, crisp, nice, no complaints. 3-shot mag, other shot mags are available, but to be honest, for most of what I do, the 3-shot is plenty. You can just top it up, right? You can always just top it up. Or buy a 5-shot. It clips in real easily, and you've got these 2 buttons on the side. I've not had it fall out. I've had mags on my other rifles fall out in fields, in woodland, and luckily I've noticed every time, because they do make a noise when they hit the floor, but I know people who haven't noticed, and that's an issue. I like the fact it jumps out into your hand. The whole thing just makes a very quick process. It is not the quietest of rifles. You know, if you're trying to be superbly quiet with it, it's not overly noisy, but it's quite hard to be quiet with by comparison to the Jaeger 10 from Haenel, for example, or other bolt action rifles. Mag, nothing is that quiet, but it's not designed to be. And that said, I've never not shot deer because it's not quiet. What's interesting as well is that you got the full decocking mechanism on the back. I find that most interesting of all. I've been places where they've let me shoot this gun, and they've made other stalkers carry their rifles on an empty chamber. They've let me carry mine on a full chamber because I can decock it, and it makes their rifle perfectly safe. What's also nice for travel is the bolt head comes off, and as much as I don't really clean this gun half as often as I should, mostly just to see how it... With all rifles, right, you get a lot of complaints, and it's always interesting to see people's opinions and points of views, and I can talk you through some of the issues that people have had with them. You can take this bolt head out, and so for security when traveling, and I haven't traveled abroad with it because we've been in Corona for most of the time I've owned it, but it's been a real interesting option that I keep this out of the rifle pretty much all the time that I'm not using it, because it takes no effort to take out, which is nice, and it makes this gun completely unfunctional. Completely unfunctional. So, issues, and I suppose what thing is people always want to know, what issues is it going to have? What issues have I had with mine? The only one was the fact that it kicked a little bit more than some of my rifles that are more designed for target shooting anyway, so of course they're going to kick a little less. It kicked a little bit more, so I had to sort some gun fit out. That's the only issue I've had. Some of the issues that people have had, let's talk you through them. Long range accuracy. The gun isn't really designed to shoot past about 500 yards. The guns are capable, but they're not really designed to. They're not heavy, they're not big, heavy rifles. And I've said, they're accurate enough, they're hard to make accurate, if that makes sense. However, I'd rather, there's no other rifle I'd rather shoot off of sticks in a woodland or off a tree or freehand. It's that nice to shoot. At this point, I should say that it doesn't come in left hand. That's one of my main gripes with it, because a few of my left-handed friends like it, but can't have one. Not that they have any intentions of making a left-handed one, so Yabu sucks to you. Some cartridge calibers are more fusky than others. These guys recommend certain brands. I have not had a problem. I have put, I don't know, many different types of ammunition with this rifle without a single jam or stickage. And I have seen them get sticky in the chamber. Generally with these smaller, tighter necked cartridges, you know, 243 for example, can get a bit sticky in these. But then it becomes only important to pick the right type of ammunition for the rifle, and then you'll have no problems at all. It's also important, I think, to keep them a little bit clean. You know, there's a lot of rooms out there, oh, they'll fill up with pine needles and stuff. I have never washed this action out. I'm regularly in pine woodland. The bolt's always closed and the mag's always in. The chances of anything getting in there is pretty minimal. And if something has got in there, there is a few pine needles in the back actually. It's still working. It's still functioning absolutely perfectly. One of the only other issues I have experienced, and I can only sort of boil this down, I suppose, to more user areas. I've seen one of these levers snap off, and I've seen one of these lever pin retaining screws snap off. It's not a big deal because, well, you're not doing it on purpose. There you go. I mean, that's one of the only other issues I've seen, but that's unbelievably rare as far as I can see. And then the other issues, I could probably boil that down to some of the other issues I could tell you, but most of those are because people take them apart wrong, which is kind of my fault because I think we did a video on how to take it apart. So I do apologise to the world for that one. Things I would change about the Merkel Helix, not a great deal to be honest.